Good evening and welcome to tonight's in-race broadcast of the Total Nonstop Racing League. Joining me, as always, in the booth is Joe. I am Bob. And Joe, a little different setup for tonight's race. I will actually be competing with the guys in TNR. You are up in the broadcast booth. You have the eye on the sky, and we're sharing your view down here in the bottom left corner of the screen.
It's not going to be as pretty as when Bob does it, but it'll get the job done.
It's so funny because Joe and I were planning on just doing a race where Joe kind of just sits here and, talks about what I'm experiencing, takes a look to see what other people are doing. And it took John Cannizzaro to say, hey, is this going to be like a 50-50 split? Like what's going on? And we're... Joe's going to be having the broadcast side of things. You'll see that in the bottom left corner of your screen. And my main screen up here is what you're going to be seeing primarily. But I think it's going to be a fun one for you tonight. I still do have my broadcast stuff set up, so we could take a look here at the race info for today. We'll hide that for now. So Watkins Glen International tire saving is going to be a big thing. It's so easy to spin your tires up through the S's. You got to watch out for heavy braking into turn one. Through the S's, easy place to spin the tires. The bus stop in the back is always chaotic. Just as long as you keep all four tires on the ground, I think you're going to be okay. Another thing, just watch for fuel. There is a chance we could be able to, wind up basically just pitting and racing this one backwards, where you pit early in the race and, you pit before you really need fuel and kind of run everything backwards. That strategy has worked for me here, but who knows if that's going to work for everyone here tonight. But, different ideas for, this one tonight.
Always, what's the fun part?
Well, right now, Philip Scott fastest on the board with a 12 flat, which is just insane. As we're getting ready to get ourselves over for qualifying. This is going to be an interesting one. I am not going to qualify. You know what? I am going to qualify.
That's the spirit.
I'm still going to wind up going in the back. But we'll jump out there and we'll show how this race is going to look. And I'm totally ready to embarrass myself in front of our viewers on both Tabletop Trio Podcast Network and my own channel.
Hey, there's a reason I'm not racing.
I think your exact words were, if they want me to be a traffic cone, I can be out there, but that's about it.
That is correct. I would have painted my car orange, and it would have been fine for Halloween.
Just the racing pumpkin, that's all.
I would have put a white line up top. To signify cone. Yeah, we were... They were like, oh, you broadcasters should come race. And Bob was like, race? And I was like, no, broadcast. I was like, I give myself a 10% shot at an oval to not crash. But this is not an oval, so I give it a 1% chance. Not happening.
I mean, I've heard this one be described as the super speedway of road courses. So it's not the hardest one out there.
No, but you do have that name in it. What's it? Oh, yeah, road.
Ah, yes.
I'm just not here for that.
Yeah, as you saw me get a little bit loose out there.
I'll give you a cinematic shot of your own car.
Oh. Like
Shameless promotion.
In the broadcast, you see it sideways there. Very little throttle going up through these S's. This car does not like any sort of bump, any sort of elevation change, as you can see right there. And I'm just going to pull over and reset my car. So
see a couple of these guys getting a little bit of air over those S's.
yeah, it's I'm just gonna pull over here, Jamar. Sorry. Gonna wait for the leaders to go by. Because, you know, I don't want to F up their qualifying runs. These are the guys actually racing for points here. Which, by the way, if you are in chat, make sure you pop in and say hi. Wish, wish anyone else you're racing against good luck. And I apologize in advance if I get into an incident with your favorite driver. Really hoping I don't have to.
I believe in you. It may be short-lived, but I believe in you.
Confidence utmost at the onset. You can really hear how violent those curbs are. Looks like we can do about 19 laps or so on fuel.
That's not terrible.
Definitely could have taken that corner a little better. All right, this is my only qualifying lap, so I got to make this one count.
Let's see where you are.
Up through the S's here. Got a little too much throttle. Kicked us sideways. Ace House in the chat saying, "Good luck, everyone. Wish I was out there tonight," but said he wound up selling his equipment, getting out of the gaming scene.
Oof.
Tough break. Was definitely a lot of fun having you race with us.
For those who are wondering why at the bottom there is a line across the map, I'm what they call a noob. And that is a line for the best possible race line you could take for like your best possible time. So to basically tell you when you should be slowing down, when you should be off the throttle, and when you should be on the throttle.
Keyword is should.
I said should. I specified.
So that'll just about do it for qualifying. Tim Johnston on the pole with a 12.4. Anthony DeBarro, John Canizaro Jr. basically tied with 12.6s. John Daniels with the 12.9. Philip goes 13.2. So before we jump in, let's take a look at the starting grid for tonight's race. If the overlay wants to work for us, that'd be pretty snazzy. But apparently it doesn't.
Yep.
So we will... we'll have to go in blind. I am going to make a quick chassis. No, I cannot change my chassis. All right. So we are going to start in a 10 drivers racing tonight.
Stop for more fuel before the race is over. Closed. Pit road is closed. The estimated SOF is 2,887. There are 2 additional sets of tyres for this race. Be smooth and have a good run. It's competitive out there. Head down, stay sharp.
So pretty decent one going for us. And we're already rolling.
Yeah, it looks that
So
way.
Tim Johnson, Anthony DeBarra, row number 1, Canizaro Jr., and John Daniels, row 2. Row 3 is Philip Scott, Adam Stewart. I am in row number 4 alongside Jamar Dumas. Jonathan Gaston, Max Kost are rounding up the field. 40
in the
laps, Joe in the booth. We'd have to pit just before lap 20, so 2-stop race.
Post car is off. Time to do your job. Green flag, green flag.
And we're rolling.
Away we go.
Oh, 3 wide in front of us. Already looking sketchy.
Clear.
I think the goal here is short shifts. Keep the RPMs low so the tires don't want to kick out from under me.
That makes sense. Early goings, it seems to be all your ducks are in a row. Everyone's creating a little bit of separation.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of this race. It's, you know, tires are going to be very cold. Not a whole lot of grip. And you just got to take it easy. You know, the old adage is pretend you're driving with an egg under your gas pedal.
I feel bad for my egg.
Oh, mine had been scrambled years ago.
21.751.
So we survived the lap. Just got to do 39 more of those and we're home free.
How does that work when you're a broadcaster and a racer? Is it a curse if you're the one also in the wheel?
Oh, 100%. And if I'm broadcasting my own race, I'm already cursing my own broadcast.
Just checking.
Like this. Gotta come to a complete stop. Let Jamar go. Let Jonathan go.
They say you cut the course. You'll have to slow down and give up the time game.
Did you miss a turn?
Yeah, I missed my braking marker. And it was either throw it into the infield or just come to a complete stop.
Jonathan Gasson went a little bit wide on the outside as well.
Yeah, he's the next guy I'm chasing after right now.
Yep. Just switching around.
Yeah, in order to see Joe's race, you got to take a look here at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen.
Yep, I will have the more, quote, traditional view.
2.08.
The upper is Bob's in-car cam.
Yes. Last Tuesday
Yes.
we had the Martin Plute cam. Which I believe they said there are a couple other drivers who would be interested in racing with the in-car cam.
We're here for it.
And next week we'll get TNR in on the action as well.
We have today Bob rocking the Tabletop Trio vehicle with a sick paint job.
Tabletop Tree, you can check us out wherever podcasts are found. Or right here on Twitch and YouTube where you're watching this race. Yeah, I guess since I'm racing, I should get the sponsor plugs in.
Yeah. You're here. We're allowed.
And I will say, this is just a good breath of little breath of fresh air when it comes to broadcasting, because you know we're always trying to be as professional as we can.
14.78.
Keyword as we can. But this is just one of those things where, yeah, we're going to be broadcasting the race, but it's just fun to hang out and talk racing.
Yeah. It's always fun. We always talk about like the hypotheticals or like the what if or the, oh, I would have done this. But you got to put your money where your mouth is now, Bob.
Which is great because I am not a road course racer. Although I will say I picked up a ton of time on Jonathan there through the bus stop.
You did.
Probably drive in a little deeper there.
Yep. So out front, we do have Anthony DeBarro took the spot away from Timothy Johnson. Cannon's Arrow still third. Philip Scott still fourth.
14.589. That was your fastest lap of the
But
I will say
they
I am
are not
surprised. I am surprised Philip hasn't made his way up to the front yet.
Right, he is not too far behind. He is 1.4 seconds out.
Good news, Joe. I am driving so slow I don't need to pit for another 18 3/4 laps.
Gotta look at the net positives.
Which means this is going to be a one-stop race for me. Because 18 plus 5 is 23. It's a 40-lap race.
Gotta look at the positives. Hey, maybe that'll play out.
I mean, crazier things have happened.
Yeah. So we have two little pods in the front between 1 and 2 and 2 and 3. Or 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I can math. Still very close. Then the fifth car of John Daniels, a little bit further back in the pack. And then you have a nice wide gap where Adam Stewart is kind of in no man's land, doing his own thing. Jamar Dumas and Jonathan and Bob,
Whoa!
all relatively close to each other.
Jonathan goes off track. That scared me. Yeah, we always joke about the brown fire suit, and yep, that's glad I'm wearing mine tonight. Now can I track down Jamar?
What were you
The
at?
leader is running 13.
You are about 3 seconds out from Jamar.
Jamar with a big lockup. He just went off track. It has been so long. I was talking to Joe before the broadcast. It has been so long since I've driven not only this car, but this car at this track.
Yeah. It's a little bit of like wrestlers would call it ring rust.
Oh, yes. There's a lot of rust here.
You can see up in the front, Philip Scott kind of looking like he's trying to find where he could peek in, try to get third. But Canizero putting up a good fight, not really giving him much.
14.929.
Well, I've officially caught Jamar almost until I throw it away. This is going to be one of these races where my arms are going to be so sore after this.
Oh yeah, you got your fancy high torque steering wheel.
I mean, in fairness, it is only 12 Newton meters, but still.
That's higher than everything Logitech has ever made. Oh no, their newest one I think is now 12.
Ah, okay.
But it's also like really expensive. Not that I'm contemplating it or anything like that.
No, not at all.
I would never do that. Especially not with my birthday coming up in like 3 weeks. I would never.
But looks like we've got a pretty good fight out front, Joe. Top 5 all within a couple of seconds of each other.
Yep. It's... Nope. Speaking of, looks like Philip has overtaken Canizaro and has taken third. He's got a little bit of room to make up before he sees Johnson or DeBarro, though.
Yeah, definitely got to look out for that charge from Philip. He is one heck of a road racer.
Yeah, he kind of was like waiting, and then figured out where he could kind of strike, and now he's got to catch up and do it again.
And that's probably the most frustrating part about racing is, you know, you work so hard to catch the guy, and then you got to do it all over again.
And then once you're done and you got to the top, you have to figure out how to stop them from doing it to you.
Yeah, you just got to play defense. Looks like I can do another 10 laps.
Which would net you 20. We're on lap 10.
15.579.
Oh, don't overdrive, please. Okay, thanks. I am interested to see if I can catch Adam in this stint before I have to go down pit road.
You're pulling away from the car behind. The gap is 2.
Let's see, you are 4.2 seconds off of Adam. We'll follow Adam for a little bit, see if you catch up or slow down. Did make up about 0.4 of a second.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if I can catch him. Took me a couple of laps to get around Jamar. Just out of my own inability to do anything.
Well, that's one of those things where you're coming off of not racing this track, not racing this car. It's been a while. You know, you don't want to mess with any of these guys, so you're racing cautious.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's my thing. Like, I was invited to race. I don't want to get in the way of their points battle and their, you know, any of that kind of stuff. By the way, if anyone is chatting on my channel, I am unable to see the comments at this time because of the way Streamlabs is set up. They don't get thrown into my...
I'll pull triple duty.
Thank you.
Dewstar said, World Series or stream? Well, I do see you here, so... We're gonna go stream.
I mean, why not both? There's always commercial breaks. You could watch this, and plus this will be done by the time the game's over.
Yeah, we haven't gotten any sponsors for commercial breaks yet.
No. However...
do you imagine if we put actual commercial breaks in? Like creepypasta style? That'd be funny.
Oh, God.
Just us.
That's when we film our bits for the podcast and just insert those.
Yeah. This is chips. They're delicious.
Well, it's kind of like those scenes from Talladega Nights. If you don't chew Big Red, then F you.
I like this steering wheel because it's round. Buy it.
All right, let's see if we can catch up this with this road course guy in front of me, Adam. But yeah, what are we looking like out front?
Out front, it is still a lot of the same. Jabaro, Johnston, Scott, Canizaro. For a second there, the top three pulled away, but Canizaro has pulled back. But it is still a lot of the same currently. But it looks like Johnston is trying to make moves, but Jabaro is able to kind of tuck him in, but it looks like he's going to go for it again, and he makes it.
Interesting.
A little bit of a flip up front. Johnston now up on top.
So move Tim Johnston up to the point. Phillips still in third.
Car 82 had taken the lead.
My spotter just confirmed that Johnston took the lead.
That gives you about the timing of how far back Bob is and some of the other pack.
16.021.
Yeah, I've got a track map on my side of things. Oh, Adam locks up. Try to keep this one organized. There we go.
I'm looking, just floated over to Jonathan Gaston. Looks like he has some passenger
leaders are
bumper. Oh, and away they go.
Debarro heading down pit road.
Yep, here they go.
So they're going to do 15 and 15.
So Debarro pit. It's looking like just Debarro.
Joe, let's do something really, really dumb and stay out.
We are on lap 14. That's a pretty early pit.
I think they're looking at they have been pushing hard.
18.22.
So they haven't really been doing that much fuel saving.
So far, I believe, unless I'm mistaken, the only person that pitted was Anthony Debarro.
Yes. Yeah, that's what my telemetry is showing.
So he gave up second. But I wonder if he's kind of in the same boat you're looking at. One pit.
Well, even then, he's not going to be able to go. I mean, I'm going to have to make it 20 full laps and then maybe run out of fuel coming to the checkered. If he were to do it now, he's going to have to come back in. Because 15 plus 20 is still 35.
Yeah. Plus, maybe he's thinking it's the Ultra Power Save group. I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I mean, you can't save too much. You still have to.
You can go right here.
16.735. Car right.
I'm just letting Debarro go.
Clear. Right side.
Oh, looks like Canizaro did come down pit road.
So we have 1, 2, 3 is Johnston, Scott, and Daniels. I unfortunately can't throw up a track map for you guys, but they are a long ways away. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm still running in, well, 7th now. Or back to 7th now.
So DeBarro is 35.6 seconds away from Daniels. So that's your gap between 3 and 4.
Looks like Adam is heading down.
Know that you're good there, Adam.
You're losing on the current front. The gap is 2.9
Sorry about that.
seconds, 19.31.
Spotter letting Bob know he's slow.
No, that was, looked like Adam was pitting in front of the 77 and didn't say anything on the radio.
So do you have to announce when you're pitting?
It's typically asked.
The lead is pitting now.
Here goes Johnston to pit. Scott stays out.
Yeah, we're gonna do something dumb here.
That's
Whether or not this strategy works, who knows?
It's the spirit of Halloween. Do something dumb.
This is Halloween. Or as
I
we've
think
talked
I
about
heard-
on the podcast before,
Ooh.
Mischief Night.
I thought I heard a crashing sound. Stewart took a tumble. Let's see if I can try to rewind that on my end and see what happened here.
16.328.
God, I've got myself trying to go chameleon-eyed and watch the wreck.
Just lost it a little bit and bumped into the wall. Tried to brake, rolled into the back. Not a ton of damage, or it doesn't look like a ton of damage, but it was a nice little love tap.
The leader is running 14.288.
Oh, we might be able to do this dumb thing. Oh, we might be a lap short. Because right now I can go a lap and a half, which means in a lap I'll have half a lap, which means I won't be able to make it around all the way to get on lap 20. So I'm gonna have to pit next time by on lap 19.
Can't fuel save it, or is that with fuel savings?
That's with ultimate fuel saving by being incredibly slow and spinning.
You have about 1 lap of fuel left.
You're about 1 lap left to fuel.
We got damage on the front end. We've got damage.
Alright, so some things have changed up in the front because of pits. Philip Scott now running number 1, John Daniels in number 2, Anthony DeBarro in number 3. It is going to be a ways away for DeBarro to catch Scott at this point. He's 27 seconds out. However, I do not think Scott has pitted yet.
I do not believe no, he has not. Neither has Daniels.
Yeah. So I'm assuming they're going to be coming in with you, Bob.
I would assume so.
Don't forget to pit for more fuel.
I am pitting now. Oh man, and Jamar is able to make it the rest, or make it. I'm just a little too fuel takey.
Fuel
For lack of
takey.
that's the word that my brain chose.
And we're gonna
fuel
that's
takey.
it. We're gonna do fuel takey.
3,
Put that on a shirt.
2, 1. The lead is pitting now.
All right, there you go.
We can repair
So
the
Gaston is pitting, who now has a little bit of damage on both sides of his bumper. Not quite sure what happened there. Scott is pitting. It looks like Daniel stayed out.
We're done. Get going.
Yep, Daniel stayed out.
Wow.
Be mindful, you only have one set of tires remaining.
Still not going to be able to make it the rest of the way of this race. Because we have 21 to go. I'm going to be 2 laps short. I don't think I'm going to be able to save a full 2 laps.
No, there's no equivalent of like throwing it in 5th.
No. And with iRacing, it doesn't track gear selection. It tracks throttle and how much throttle you use.
The car in front is pitting.
Oh, so RPMs don't really mean much?
No.
Wow.
Unfortunately.
So we're just going to ride along with Daniels for a minute here and see if he pits this time round. I'd have to imagine, yep. And here he goes, all right.
The lead is pitting now.
All right, good. I get my lap back for now. Even though DeBarro is 10 seconds behind me.
And we have Dumas in the pits.
41.
Gaston back out.
7.
Well, Daniels picks up that 1 point for leading a lap.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be good for him for his championship hopes. Keeping them good.
Yep. I got to imagine that was kind of Phil's idea as well.
Oh, for sure. This
let's
race ends
run
the
up.
first week of December, or the season rather ends first week of December.
We got about a month.
So yeah, so about 5, 6-ish races left. Even with the move, that shouldn't be affecting our broadcast here at TNR.
All right, up in the front we now have
14.
DeBarro,
2. Just set your fast
Johnston, and Canizaro.
By the way, my tires that time around, aside from driving into the wall, were 92 on the 92 on the front right, 88% on the rear.
And that, any children who may be watching, is why you don't text and drive.
Yes. Just because I have all these buttons on my steering wheel doesn't mean I should be using them while driving a 700 horsepower missile.
But then why did they make them look so fun?
That's what I want to know.
Like, if they're not supposed to be pushed all the time, don't make them look that fun to push. And give them such satisfying clicks.
They click. I have ones that spin. They all light up when you press them.
17.2.
I'm a toddler. Give me something shiny and I'll stare at it for hours.
Oh my god, I almost bought the Turtle Beach one because it has an LCD screen. And then I'm like, idiot, you race with a VR headset. What are you gonna look at?
I don't
My
know,
brain
but
was
it's
like-
pretty.
My brain was like, well, what if you didn't then? Because then you could use the little LCD screen. But yeah, that's my priorities. The 4-inch display instead of the VR. I got it.
Yeah, who cares about how the wheel performs?
So it looks like the leading group, and he just lets him pass.
Go down the left, John.
Who was that? That wasn't Gaston.
Thank you.
I miss when you do the broadcasts because you have a nice little map that tells me how far behind everyone is. I don't have that map. That was Jamar who lets the leading group pass. He's currently in 7th.
14.553.
Yeah, I can see the leaders on my relative. They're 6 seconds back.
Yeah, they're coming in quick for you.
13.917.
Yeah, leader just did a 13.9. I just did a 14.5.
I mean,
So 6/10 faster than me.
not terrible.
No, but in racing, 6/10 is massive.
Yeah.
Oh. Almost had some wheel hop. Almost drove it straight into the barrier.
Let's hop on board with Bob. I mean, less on board than what you guys see, but
Yeah.
relatively third party on board. You can see that shot. Just, they're coming in for him. But you are putting down good laps. You haven't crashed too much. I was going to say you haven't crashed, and then the camera made me a liar when it shows your bumper passenger side a little damage.
Yeah, I kissed the tire wall here out of 1.
Yeah, if you look at only the driver's side of this car, he has not crashed yet.
That just goes to show how good I am. I'm able to keep the driver's side clean. Obviously.
The most important side.
Yeah, because I'm there.
Well, you know, when you get out of the car and you win and everything, you want it to look good. No one needs to know what the passenger side looks like. And the crowd only sees the driver's side.
Yeah, but the more destroyed a car is, the better the diecast sales are.
Priorities. Now let's see
It's
how
all
far.
about merchandising.
So, yeah, every lap they are getting a little closer to you. No pressure.
Oh yeah, no, none at all. Don't want me messing up the battle for the lead or anything.
It's not like they're all right next to each other.
15.968.
Float back to Jabaro. So you can see here it's Jabaro, Johnston, Canizaro, followed closely by Scott. About 3.2 seconds behind is Scott of Jabaro. Behind that you have John Daniels, 5.7 seconds behind. And then you have Bob in 6th, 1 minute behind.
You know, I will take a minute.
Well, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I think it's going to say -1 in a second.
Yeah, I was gonna say 1 minute in a minute 15 track. Yeah, probably not the best of ideas. I'm gonna be quiet here, just to let the leaders pass.
Yeah. Bob's going to focus real hard. Gonna
Just letting them go.
dip low.
17.227.
I'm also gonna dip low to let Philip go.
The car behind is closing on you. The gap is 6.2 seconds.
As they continue to fight for first. They kind of look like they check each other every now and again. See if he's still paying attention to the inside. Jabaro closes the gap. and that's that. But
it is interesting to see what lines they're all running as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how they're attacking the bus stop versus the carousel here.
Yeah, but you can see on the bottom on my end, the quote preferred green line is way out there. But these guys are not taking that preferred line. They have practiced and made their own lines, which is why the line is good for beginners. But once you start to learn your car and your abilities, you kind of make your own line.
Mm-hmm. Oh, looks like trouble. Jonathan Gaston out of the race.
He was having issues earlier. Let's see if I can find him. I don't think I can pull him up. Let me rewind a little bit. See if I can find Gaston. There he is. Let's see what happened here. He might have just had a little too much damage. He was way in the back. Let's see. I don't have a fancy instant replay button, guys. I'm sorry. I have to do it the old-fashioned way.
Like one of those old VCRs, kids ask your parents.
I have to hit the DVD remote fast forward. It skips and it looks terrible, but we get there eventually. Fast forward this a little bit, see what happens. Or does he just pit and call it? Oh, okay, there it is. That's what happened. So he just hits those tires, and I think it just gave him I think that was a ton of damage. His tires got real crooked, and that's it for him.
Ooh, tough break.
Yeah. So.
I think my goal right now is to just not let Jamar pass.
It's a solid, let's see where he is in relative to you. He is 6 seconds behind you. As we jump back up to the leading pack, as Scott has caught all the way back up. Now 0.6 seconds behind the leader. So you have Jabbar up front, Johnston 0.3 seconds behind, Kanaan 0.5, and Scott 0.7.
Kanaan
trying to
heads
recover.
down pit road.
He looks like he's not the only one. Let's see who else. I thought I saw 2 cars dive down. There's Kanaan's there. Oh, nope, it was just him.
And I got caught speeding on pit road. Well, my race just went from crap to crap.
5, 3, 2, 1. Right here. We can repair most.
So, an interesting thing that I've never had to do in iRacing so far, as Adam Stewart looks like he just had a little bit of an accident. I saw his car hit yellow. Let's see what happened. As he rolled into the corner, looks like locked up his tire. Ooh,
hard into the wall.
Hard into the wall. Is he gonna? I'm surprised that car is driving.
Don't mind me just sitting here serving my penalty. Getting a great view of nothing.
That was not super bad. Is it a minute?
40 seconds.
Yeah.
And I've got about a minute of optional repair. I'm going to wait until John passes us on track.
So you got to take a little bit of that repair?
Yeah. It's not going to do anything for me, but, you know.
Okay. Let's see if Stewart is going to come in. He took a hard hit. You can see all the damage on the front of his car.
Go, go, go!
All right, there we go.
You are out of tires.
So the race is now between me and Adam for 7th.
Yeah, Adam, heavy damage. I am actually shocked that car is still running after that basically head-on collision he took into those tires.
Yeah.
I guess benefit of hitting the tires instead of the metal is at least they bump a little bit. I don't know if iRacing does that, but I'd have to imagine. I have to imagine they do. That car shouldn't have a bumper otherwise.
Yeah, and tire hits are always more violent looking because they're there. They dissipate the energy so much more.
Yeah. All right, DeBarro pitting. Scott again stays out. Bob, you are catching up to Jamar. 44.10. Sorry, Adam.
Right side. Clear.
Let's see what's going on.
I'm going to try something here. I'm going to use the faster car of DeBarro as a pick and maybe try to follow him around Adam.
Oh, so you're going to try to follow his line?
Right side.
Like that.
Hey, it worked.
Oh, nope.
It almost worked.
Yep, my wheel is destroyed.
Oh no, what happened?
Barriers do not tickle.
On the front end. You've got some damage.
Let's go see what Bob did. Oh, ooh. Yeah. Is that race finish for you?
Oh yeah. My let's just say I have about 180 degrees of wheel play.
We can actually see on your
my car
screen.
Actually turns.
Yeah, we can see on your screen for all the viewers in the upper right-hand corner of the mini screen. You can see that steering wheel. That is a live view of what Bob is doing to turn the wheel, and you can see it is almost a full 360 to turn that vehicle.
Yeah, look at how much play I have in this wheel. I'm driving straight adjacent.
You know, let's see if I can get nice and close, and rewind a little bit.
2, 1.
Let's see, what do I got? I don't have all the nice fancy camera packs either, so I got to deal with what I got. Let's
I only have 30 seconds of required damage.
That yeah, required.
5 minutes of optional, which I'm just gonna take that 5 minutes.
So you can see here how crooked his tire is while he tries to turn. Yeah, there was a good shot. You could see that thing is very cocked.
Yeah.
So as we scoot back up to the front, let's see what's going on. Scott has a huge lead, but I believe has yet to pit. I am interested to see after those repairs if your car is going to be remotely able to drive straight.
Yeah, I highly doubt it is.
Somebody with a baseball bat just like, go straight.
And I mean, in fairness, there are only 6 laps to go, so we'll jump over and do an actual broadcast here for the rest of the race. Because yeah, this is certainly not pretty. So out front right now is the 99 here, Philip Scott.
Yep.
He still though has to pit.
Correct. I believe he's still yet to pit. I believe Daniels is in the same boat.
I believe that is the case as well. Yes. Then again, Philip and Daniels both pit after lap 20. So there is a chance they might just barely be able to squeak their way into doing this race on one stop. There's a very slim chance, but there is a chance nonetheless. So there's Philip. John Daniels here, John Daniels here in this pink and white machine in P2 currently. If you see, he's 5.5 seconds back behind Philip.
Philip stays out.
We'll get the track map up on the screen for you as well. So only 4 laps remaining. And there you see the gap. Philip Scott to John Daniels. Basically a corner behind. Philip just out of the S's down the backstretch into...
When did Scott last pit?
Lap 20.
So it is feasible for him.
Yeah, he very well could make it all the way after that stop.
Yeah.
Him and Daniels could make it. Johnston and DeBarro absolutely can make it, but they're currently 22 or 28 seconds back behind the leader.
Yeah.
Let's keep it here with Philip. Is he going to head down pit road? No.
I got to imagine he's going to try to run it out.
No Daniels. That's the gap. The leaders are crossing the line. Johnston just coming out of the carousel. Anthony DeBarro and John Canizaro Jr. there also just coming out of the carousel.
Yep. What is their time differences between? Are they? I don't know if they're actually catching up like sufficiently. Because at this point they need to start catching up like seconds at a time.
Yeah, I mean right now, the battle at least between Philip Scott and John Daniels. Daniels that time was about 1/10 faster than Philip.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if we're looking at Daniels versus Johnston,
that's what I'm.
Daniels is actually faster by about 1 second the last time by. There's the gap between the leaders. Let's see here what Philip is going to do.
I'm surprised with that the tires aren't more of a play. I guess in road courses it's not as crazy.
I am honestly a little surprised there as well. My crew chief is telling me repairs are nearly done. Looks like an incident there with Adam Stewart. He had gone off track. Yeah, just real easy to do out of the bus stop.
Oh, right there. Yep.
Here's Philip heading into the bus stop.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to me how hard they're going over there. You hit those bumps and they're not crashing. I know you were doing it as well. It's just, I don't know. Every time I'd be like, and wall.
Yeah. There is a very fine line. I was definitely being far more conservative through there than I probably would be if I was driving like a GT car or something like that. However, here comes Philip Scott out of turn number 7 down the front straightaway. White flag in the air. One more lap to go.
White flag, stay smooth.
So let's see if he has enough gas.
That is going to be the big play right here. Will Philip have enough to do one stop over 2?
And Daniels.
Yeah, will Daniels be able to sneak one away as well? That is going to be a huge, huge victory if these guys both are going to be able to pull it off. Through the bus stop one final time. Lands that one perfectly. through the carousel. Daniels 5.5 seconds back. Not going to have enough time. 2 more corners to go for Philip Scott.
Yeah, I got to imagine at this point, Scott is just easing off the gas as much as he can. He knows he's got seconds to spare.
That is for sure. Coming out of the final corner, checkered flag in the air.
A little bit of wiggle.
He's got enough. Philip Scott wins at the Glen. What a finish. John Daniels comes home P2.
Yeah,
Radio chatter in the background. As Philip Scott burns it down. Tim Johnson comes home third.
Philip and John there. I think you had us on pace anyway, though, Philip. Good job.
Anthony DeBarro.
I think that makes you the road course king, right?
There goes Canizaro as well.
Philip had the pace. I was just throwing strategy to the wall and see what else stuck.
So very, very good run
I don't
there.
know how you guys take that because I was.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, before you crashed, you did have.
Yeah, I'm kind of out of gas. I did my burnout.
I did.
And you had Stewart, so you know. Until the wall, you were running pretty great, and the other wall.
Yeah, and then the third wall, and
then the third wall,
then the fourth, and it's just a thing. But let's start lining up some driver interviews here for tonight. Philip Scott, our winner. John Daniels second. Tim Johnston in third. If I can try to get our broadcast booth here squared away. And Joe, I believe you've caught up in with our third place finisher. As soon as I can get him up into the waiting room. Joe, I believe you've caught up with our third place finisher, Tim Johnston.
Hey, Tim! Congratulations on the podium finish. Very clean race today. Most of the caution, or there was 0 cautions. Most of the cars that have dropped out kind of just wrecked themselves. Did the absence of yellows kind of allow you to execute your initial race strategy, or did you have to make adjustments?
No, I kind of went into it figuring I was going to pit twice to see how that worked out, which the strategy was to definitely pit once. But yeah, I was in practice. I probably should have run and attempted to save fuel to see how far I could go, but I never did.
So it was see what happens live kind of situation?
Yeah, pretty much.
What were some of the key areas on the track where you were able to kind of like push harder and some where you had to be a little bit more conservative?
Well, I felt like going up the S's, I was pretty good. I felt like the way I was attacking those corners felt really good. For me, it's usually my speed loss is the bus stop, and it kind of felt like it tonight. I just can't really get a good rhythm through there. But all in all, yeah, that was pretty much how I felt about the track.
Well, congratulations again. Huge podium finish. Do you have any shout outs for us?
Yeah, just give a shout out to everybody at Dizzy Motorsports. I've been with them for a long time. Congrats to Philip and Scott on their strategy. Philip on the win. Thanks to everybody at TNR that puts us on every week. You guys for putting on a great broadcast and all the fans who tune in.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, and good luck next week.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
All right, that was our second place finisher, Tim Johnson. Now I'm now joined by our third place, rather, our second place finisher here tonight, driver of the number 02 machine, John Daniels. And John, congratulations there on P2, making it all the way, only one stop. Talk to us a little bit about that strategy.
Well, I did a fuel run during practice. The folks at T-LCM here are excellent about having a good long practice to really dial in lines, breaking points, all that good stuff. But in practice, I saw that I could go about 19 laps. Think about the race distance. I told myself, all right, no matter what, we have to make 20. If we can make 21, we can do the second half of the race without fuel saving. And I just knew that I just need to keep within relative touch of the trio leading, and I was able to do that. Couldn't hold off Philip Scott, but it was what it was on that matter. But oh well. It still worked out P2 finish.
Yeah, definitely a fun one out there. And, a lack of cautions, obviously being a road course, we don't really do full course cautions or anything like that. Not a whole lot of atrophy, couple of lap cars, maybe here and there, myself included on that front. Did that really make any difference when you're trying to save fuel?
It did a little bit. I forget what lap it was, but it was after everybody pitted. I'll look at it sometime. But at one point, poor Adam Stewart spun after he made his pit stop right at the top of the S's, and I was having deja vu after crashing into him last week at Chicagoland. But other than that, lap cars are always very good and all that, and even Adam, he's been very helpful on that front as well.
And, taking a look next week, I believe we're racing at Darlington. If my memory serves, I'll have to pull that info up for you. But talking about Darlington, what are your thoughts there? I know for me, not a track that I particularly care for or are very good at. But what are your thoughts?
I like Darlington. The only thing is I've only bought it about 3 months ago, and I've only run one competitive race there. And I was happy to be out of the tunnel there. We'll put it that way. I think, unfortunately, this was one of the last races on the calendar that I really said, okay, I can either, maximize the points or at least stay ahead of the borrow. And I did that, which is a good thing, but I guess the last race I can really count on meaningfully being ahead of Anthony would be Talladega, the doubleheader in a few weeks. But we'll see how Darlington goes. I'm halfway decent at saving tires and doing that, so maybe we can make something work there. Pull a strategy rabbit out of the hat.
Well, that'll definitely be interesting. Before we let you go, do you have any shout-outs for us?
Well, Find Love or Die Trying visual novel on Steam for $4.99. Dedicated sponsor, Prio Rim Protectors. I want to thank the lads who run the league. Great league. Always come out here and drive with us, have fun. And I think that'll be it for me tonight. Yeah. Oh, and top 10 free chalky milk.
Oh, yeah. Well, John, congratulations there on P2, and looking forward to seeing you out there next week at Darlington.
That'll be the thing. Maybe I'll dig out a throwback paint scheme to bring or something.
Oh, there we go. Any hints?
This will probably spoil that. Brad Keselowski won this race. There's your hint.
Love it. Well, John, again, congrats on P2, and we'll talk to you next week.
Hopefully see y'all in the winner's circle next week, or at least in the podium interviews. Y'all take care and be safe.
There we go. All right, that's John Daniels, their second place finisher. And let's pick up our winner. Joe, you're down in victory lane with winner Philip Scott.
Hey, Philip. Congratulations on the victory. It was a very long race.
Yeah.
Green, no cautions, so it was a lot of, just a lot of circles. Was it easy to find a rhythm, or did you kind of have to, mentally stay engaged?
Yeah, it was. I had to stay engaged because the different strategies, I didn't know up until the first stop. I didn't know who was saving, who wasn't. because it was going to be really close to the number. Like I think I think at first at the start of the race my thing said like 19.9 laps of fuel I could do. So it was a little tricky. So I was just constantly just every lap trying to figure out exactly how much fuel I had to save every lap. And I finished with about a little under a half a lap to the good, and then I lost all my fuel when I was doing the burnout. So ran out doing that. So I definitely cut it close.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think Bob was also trying that strategy, but he couldn't save enough gas. As I was watching you race, you were behind. You started a little behind. You got up. You moved up and down up until the pitting. What were the opportunities for you to kind of like close the gap and pass?
Yeah, so I was just trying to save my tires long run, and so I was just trying to be really patient. I didn't have the qualifying I wanted. It was like over a second slower than my best in practice. I locked up into turn 1 both laps I tried to do, and it kind of just screwed me, so I just knew I just had to be patient. Log the laps and just try to save fuel and try to save my tires, and even with saving fuel by the end, because I was saving my tires, I was able to catch right back up to the top 3. Got by John earlier on, and then DeBarro and Kim I got up close to near around the time they started to pit, so it ended up not being too bad. And then but then John Daniels had the same strategy as me, so I had to make sure I was keeping a good enough pace to not have him gain too much on me. And so yeah, it was pretty cool. It's been 5 seasons in a row where I've been undefeated on road course races now, and I don't take any of them for granted. I like to keep they're probably the most nerve-wracking races for me because I want to keep the streak up.
Well, it continues today. You have any shout-outs for us?
Yeah, shout-outs to my I don't really have any shout-outs today, but shouts to my if you want to check out any of my graphic design work, go to ninjaphil.design. And yeah, thanks guys.
Awesome. Well, congratulations again. Good luck in next week's race. And yeah, awesome.
Yep, thanks, man.
All right, that is Philip Scott, our winner of tonight's race here at Watkins Glen. Let's take a look at the final standings for tonight's race. Philip Scott gets the win over the rest of the field. John Daniels comes home in second. Tim Johnston in third. Anthony DeBarro comes home fourth. John Canizaro Jr. in fifth. Jamar Dumas comes home sixth. Adam Stewart in seventh. I'm in eighth. Jonathan Gaston rounds out our field of drivers who started tonight's contest in ninth. Max Kost did not start, will come home in 10th. Well, Joe, from Watkins Glen, New York to the Lady in Black, Darlington, the track that's too tough to tame, a very, very difficult track. Two sides of the track, 2 different corner radiuses, high banked, narrow racing. It's going to be a ton of fun.
I am, as always, very excited. I love watching these guys race, and you can kind of see the skill here today. And I don't mean this by saying Bob doesn't have a lot of skill, because Bob is very good at racing, but just the way they are able to kind of make this look easy.
It is definitely something else to watch them go out there and compete, because they are incredibly talented. That is going to be about it for us. Don't forget, you could check us out wherever you find your podcasts, as well as our website, tabletoptrio.com. We are back on the air tomorrow night at 9 for the Speed Xfinity series, and then Wednesday night a bit of a fall special of the Tabletop Trio podcast. You definitely do not want to miss that. You can tune in Wednesday night, 8 o'clock Eastern, right here on YouTube and twitch.tv/Tabletop Trio. So, for one final time, I'm Bob.
I'm Drew.
And this has been the Tabletop Trio Podcast Network live broadcast of the Total Nonstop Racing League. Have a great night. We'll talk to you tomorrow.